Good morning, good evening, and good night, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wherever you are in the world. It's day 2 at Watches and Wonders in Geneva for us. Today is a continuation of yesterday, as it so often happens. We talked a little bit about mind-blowing pieces, and that continues today. But on a slightly different note, because we're going to look at something that is, well, extraordinary. Literally, extraordinary objects. The poetry of time, TM, as Nick Fox says. And that means, of course, Van Cleef & Arpels. So not only can you look forward to extraordinary objects, you can also look forward to me mangling some French words. So apologies to any of you who speaks French as your first language, and also to my publisher who's French. When you see something like the Fontaine au Ruisseau, the Reveries de Berlin, and of course the Planetarium Automaton, and I've done my best to say those things, and even Nick Fox couldn't say them properly, so haha. Your faith in humanity will be restored by these objects if you have lost it in the current times. Words can't really capture what these creations mean, but we'll get into them in more detail at another time, because for now it's time to mangle more French names. This is the Hermès Arceau, Le Temps Voyageur, and it takes on an all-new and ultra-complicated vision of the established 2 time zone watch. Hermès Horloger has always tried to bring a distinctive vision, to offer something different as far as watchmaking is concerned. They say that if it already exists, why should they do it if they're not bringing something new? And they really deliver with this particular 2 time zone watch. For now, we have to stick with the French flavor, but move on. But this time, I'm not going to mangle any French names. The watchmaking prowess of Chanel has achieved new heights. This year, with the J12 Diamond Tourbillon Caliber 5. Now, just for the record, that does have a French name, but I'm not going to say it. Now, Chanel has flying tourbillons in its collection, which you might remember, but it now has its own in-house flying tourbillon, hence Caliber 5. Those numbered calibers are all the in-house creations of Chanel. The watch deserves a better introduction. It has specific particularities that make it entirely a Chanel beauty, albeit a complicated one. An interesting side note here is the matte ceramic in use, which appears both technically impressive and aesthetically promising, at least to our eyes. Alright, that's that for Chanel. We continue, strangely, with French flavor, this time Cartier, fine watchmaking and jewelry. But for now, we'll just talk about one watch in particular, which is the Mas Mystérieux. It has what I like to think of as the wow factor. No pun intended. Jack Foster over at Houdinki calls it wondrously strange, which is perhaps apt. So first of all, what is this? It's essentially a mystery watch, like the mystery clocks that Cartier used to make, in which the hands appear to be floating in mid-air, disconnected from any mechanism. Here though, the mechanism is evidently apparent because it is entirely contained in the oscillating mass, hence Mas Mystérieux, which is something I can say in French without spoiling it. So thanks Cartier for that. Now, this particular watch, the mystery is really in how the movement transmits its information while being contained in the mass through the hands. If you know anything about how the mystery clocks work, you kind of have an idea. But what's really cool and interesting to note with this watch is that it reminds me of something I saw in 2011 in Cartier fine watchmaking at that time called the Astro Regulator. That was caliber 9800 MC, and it had the escapement mounted on the rotor, as well as the indication of the small seconds. So as the rotor moved, you could see the balance move with it. In this case, you have that, except for the small seconds indication, but the entire movement is visible and it's all contained in the oscillating mass. And the name of the movement is 9801 MC, which should tell you something about the provenance of this particular caliber. I'm a little tickled by this one because I think that I spotted this off the top of my head and the presenter did not actually catch what I meant when I asked, is this related to the astro regulator? We'll have more to say about this on Loxo.com because it deserves a much longer write-up than we can offer on a video. Day 2 comes to a close at Watches and Wonders in Geneva with two things, both related to Mont Blanc. A keynote address with their hero of the hour, mountaineer Nimsdai Puja, and watchmaking boss Florent Lecomte, moderated by World Tempest editor Suzanne Wong. The story, of course, is about Nimsdai, whom you might remember from 14 Peaks, the Netflix drama, and his remarkable achievements and what he'll be doing going forward. And related to that is the 1858 Geosphere Zero Oxygen. A watch that is a twist on the Geospheres that you might remember, in that it adds a chronograph function. Although the word zero oxygen there really indicates what this is about, because the watch has had all of the oxygen removed from it and replaced with nitrogen. A symbolic gesture in some ways, because Nimsdai is about to attempt to climb Everest without the use of supplemental oxygen. So his previous record was achieved with supplemental oxygen, but his coming effort is going to be done without. And he'll be bringing this watch, which apparently will be his new best friend, on this climb. It was a big celebration, of course, following this, which we were happy to attend. So thank you, Mont Blanc, for that. It's wonderful. And the images you see here are all from that party, which was held within Palexpo in the Mont Blanc booth, which had been reshaped throughout the day after presentations and transformed into this showcase for the new collections, really, in total. And with that, we close our coverage for day 2, and we will see you for day 3, where we will begin a little differently than we did today. See you then.